Hey guys, it's Kimaya. Welcome to a new video. In this video, we're going to talk about everything you need to know before you come to study abroad. So for context, I am a sophomore student at San Jose State University and I've been studying here for the past 2 years. I've got a lot of questions about everything you need to know before coming here, so we're just gonna get right into it. The most important part about studying abroad is definitely the universities and the acceptances that you receive. I applied to 6 different universities in the US and I think 3 in India. Personally, I made a list of all the universities that I got into and I broke it down into different sections that may help me make a pros and cons list. On that list, I added university, acceptance rate, number of people at the university, social life, internship opportunities, and just a few other things that would help me choose the university that I wanted to go to. Also, location is very important, the weather. I know it sounds like something that's like not a priority, but honestly, it does really make a big difference. Like personally, I'm someone that can't handle the cold very well, and so that's why I chose to come to California, which wasn't the main reason why I decided to come here, but it was a pretty important factor. That's because sometimes when you're going to classes and stuff, it's really difficult to get up and get out of bed if the weather is just not suitable, and you will end up like missing many classes. And I know for some people that's not something that you can choose, but I would definitely keep it in mind. Also, another thing, make sure you know where you're going to be living. If you're going to live on campus, off campus, don't leave that to the last minute because there's a huge wait list for a lot of universities. Especially, I know mine had a pretty big wait list and I was unsure about where I would be living. Definitely have that sorted out early. Apply to all your housing on campus. In terms of applications, the grades that I applied with were with my predicted grades. I know that it really depends on the stream and the board that you're studying in high school. I did A-levels. I got my exam results in August. I got my predicted grades in January and I used those to apply to all the different universities. It depends where you're going to be studying. In the UK, I know that there's conditional offers for some people, which means that you'd have to match your final grades with your predicted grades. In America, it's more such that it's a little bit more essay based. Also, if this does help you guys, in my A-levels for 12th grade, I took business, information technology, math, and English for my 11th and 12th grade, which is what I applied with for my business major. Another thing that's very important to keep in mind is it might be so that your university asks you to convert your grade into a GPA, and there are a lot of third-party evaluation centers that help you do that. So you would just give your grades to them and they'll evaluate it and transform it into a GPA. Keep in mind, I know one of the universities I applied to ask for that, just something that you might have to do before you complete your applications. Now, the second important part, and we could definitely make a whole different video about this, is the visa interview preparations. So I'm going to be focusing this on the US visa itself because that's what I received and that's where I am. Something that I just want to give you a little disclaimer about is that this process is different for every individual. Every single visa officer asks different questions and you might not receive the same questions that I got, so just keep that in mind. Something that we did was get an agent because it's very difficult and competitive to get a US visa, as you guys know. So it would be helpful if you got a visa agent that helps you like with the process, booking all the documents that you need. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's worth it in the long term because a lot of people don't get their visa and have to defer a semester, which is not ideal. But if that does happen to you, don't worry about it. Just take like precautions beforehand and see if you can find an agent now. Before the appointment, there are a lot of various documents that you may need in order to get your visa. For example, if you have a loan that you're applying for, you need all your financial documents. They need to know how you're going to be funding yourself while you're at university. Definitely just make sure, triple check that you have all your documents. Get your parents' help. My mom helped me so much with all this. Get the right pictures, get the right sizes for your pictures, for your visa photo. Make sure you have your SEVIS fee. Make sure you have your I-20 that's offered by your university. I-20 is basically the most important thing, which is a form that shows that you're accepted by the university and the years that you will be attending. At the consulate, what they asked me was what my major was, why I decided to attend SJSU, how I will be funding myself. So of course, this answer will be different for everyone depending on your major. The reason why you chose your university, why you chose to study in America is also a popular question that many people get. Keep it very neutral, like don't panic. I would definitely watch other YouTube videos that have references on what you should say. I believe that there would be good opportunities. You could also say this university has a particular strong program for the major that you want to study. They may judge your vocabulary, your English, the way you speak, your body language. Just be very confident. Be yourself. Don't give answers that you don't believe because they can see through you. They've done these interviews for hundreds of thousands of people. Be prepared beforehand. If you guys want me to make a separate video on that, I would totally be down to do that. The last topic that I want to talk about in this video, because I want to split this into different parts, is finances. Finances may be the main reason a lot of people don't decide to study in the US because, as we know, it is is very expensive and it can be taxing on your bank account. But I want to tell you guys that first, like a few disclaimers. Keep in mind that international students don't get financial grants such as FAFSA, which means that a lot of students in the US get grants from the university and from the government, where if they have a minimum wage or if they're earning under a certain bracket, then they're able to get financial aid from the university. International students aren't eligible for that. We're only able to get scholarships. Personally, I'm not under a scholarship. There's definitely a lot of low interest loans that are specifically made for students, so I would just check and see which is the best thing that works for you. My university is a public university, which means that the tuition fees may be a little bit lower, but again, the rent is very expensive. It'll be different for every place, but in California in general and in the Bay Area, rent can be really expensive. Don't panic. Like, this is not one reason why you shouldn't like decide to study abroad. There's definitely ways that you can make your living affordable. For example, you can definitely do an RA job. I know a lot of international students are RAs. So an RA stands for a resident assistant or a resident advisor, which is someone that people may go to if they have any problems while living in the dorms. They just like look out for everyone. They do room checks, things like that. If you get this job, you have free housing and free meal plan, which is of course like really helpful for students that want to live here. So definitely keep that in mind. Like, it's not going to be like you're going to have to pay the same amount every single year. You might have better opportunities. I know a lot of my friends that are international also have jobs on campus, including me, and I pay for my own rent with my job. So definitely don't hold yourself back just because of the expenses in living. My family is very supportive, and it's so important to have supportive parents. I know finances can be a very difficult situation discussing with your parents, but I just want to encourage you guys to do it. If I can do it, you can definitely do it too. Don't be afraid. There are a lot of students out here that are managing by themselves and being independent. It's a great opportunity to grow as an individual. You're living in a different country. You change your perspective in so many different ways. Like, I am not the same person that I was when I first came here to the US. There are struggles, but it's all so worth it. And I would definitely encourage you to study in the US. That's the last topic that I would want to talk about in this video. We covered acceptance, universities to choose, visa interview preparations, and in the next video I will talk about social life, how it is actually living here and adjusting to a new environment. So if you guys found this helpful, please let me know. I'm always here for you guys. I would love to be the big sister that helps you in anything. Please feel free to drop any questions below. Like and subscribe for more. I love you guys. Thank you for watching.